Welcome to Knife Thoughts. This video is going to be an unboxing of a Jack Wolf Knives knife, but obviously not of this one. This is the Feel Good Jack. It's the knife I've been carrying the last couple days. I've got a whole kind of pink thing going on here with this Civivi Cubit. Got my ring. But anyway, I've been carrying this knife, and Ben of Jack Wolf Knives sent an email out that this new version or re-release of the Vampire Jack was coming out here in October of 2023. So he did the same model last October for Halloween. You know, it's the Vampire Jack, and is doing it again this year. So it's there's some differences on this version versus the original. Not as big a differences as like on the laid back Jack, but let's go ahead and open this. So first of all, I normally do my unboxings in front of the camera. Not in tip-top shape right now, so hopefully I won't, cough up a lung or anything during this, but I wanted to do this kind of old school from behind the camera. But let's see if I can open this. Ran out of the stickers that I usually use to cover my address, or at least can't find them. So here it is. And one thing, before, so technical difficulties. At first, we didn't, know which version of the knife Ben was sending for review. And then, after that, just because of, I think, inventory and how he tracks things, he had us pick, so we knew ahead of the time. This is the first time that there's a label like this, if I remember correctly, in the box here. So I showed my address and didn't realize that I was doing that. But Kim here also sent out the coin, which I will show in the full review of this knife, that was to commemorate the Facebook group, so Jack Wolf Knives International, or worldwide. So definitely join that. It's super cool group, very positive. Lots of cool pictures of Jack Wolf Knives, and they did a coin to commemorate 1,000 members. I believe it was 1,000. Anyway, it's a really cool coin, and Kim also sent that out when I got that. But I'll show that in my full review of this knife. As usual, packed nicely here in the classic Jack Wolf Knives box, modern interpretation, timeless design. If you haven't read the back yet, you can read it. Tells you kind of the background of the name, and you can see here, if you didn't already see it on the packing slip, that I got the Fat Carbon Dark Matter Red. There's several different versions of this knife coming out. They have a jigged titanium, jigged kind of blasted of some sort titanium. There's a black, all blacked out, murdered out, you might say, titanium with plain titanium, so it's not jigged. The blade is black, the hardware, the titanium. Then there's Fat Carbon Nebula, Fat Carbon Purple Haze, and this one, which is Fat Carbon Dark Matter Red. I picked this one. Ben asked me about it, and this came super fast. I'm thinking he might have, boy, I don't even know, super recently, maybe Thursday, and this is Saturday, but it came really quickly. And I picked this one because I think it's the spookiest, like the most on theme of them, although I thought that the purple looked really cool also. And check out that art, different than before, and very, very cool, very comic booky. I like how Jack has some bling there, and yeah, kind of a more aggressive looking Jack, I would say. So really cool art, and of course it will be on the POG that's in here also, so you get to see, oops, as long as I don't throw it on the ground. Got stuff blowing all over the place here. Anyway, there is that full art. So really, really cool, and of course kind of calls back to the 80s and 90s, which is a big theme of what Ben, the aesthetic that Ben does for these. And as usual, comes with a nice leather slip. I've actually been, Jack Wolf Knives basically converted me to using leather slips on slip joints. This is the one that I was using for the Feel Good Jack. They basically all work, for Jack Wolf Knives. Has got a bunch of them, and have used several of them. They're not always the same, but I do think that they've been pretty similar over the past few releases. And so they kind of converted me, and now I have slips from, you know, other makers and artisans and such. But pull the knife out here, got a kind of a baby blue microfiber cloth, and then got 2 stickers. So very stylized vampire jack there with the tongue and the big fangs and the wings. Super cool. I really like that they're putting 2 in now, because I put them on my safe, and so I get to put one on my safe and see it, and then also keep one. So you know, people discuss the collectability, like long term, of these, and I don't know, I'm not like an expert or whatever, but I think that there's a lot of collectability to it. Like I expect them to be collectible. Again, who knows what will happen in the world, but I think that there's a lot that goes into them that makes them collectible. But let's go ahead and open this. Nicely folded as always, and it's always kind of with this dark matter and the fat carbon in general, but especially the dark matter, how much of the color you'll get. So let's see. So dark, really cool. I feel like that's a good amount of red on that side, even more on this side. Man, look how sleek that looks with that, all the black on the blade and the hardware. Wow, so unique, very different than even really modern slip joints. So it's a little bit of a different, this is my first DLC or coated, I believe it's a DLC, I should know that, but Jack Wolf knife, and it's a little bit of a different look on the back. You can kind of see those transitions in a different way. But just a quick, you know, I'll talk about this in the full review too, but the Vampire Jack was the one that when Ben brought these, and really the prototypes, which were made by a different OEM, to the Rendezvous several years ago, I was really blown away by the Vampire Jack because it's unique. There's not a lot of coffin handle jacks out there. It's a really great example of how Ben takes these traditional patterns and, you know, kind of modernizes them, but not too much. And also, it is super ergonomic. So the other version was pinchable. Let's see how this is. Easily pinchable. And it's really, you know, I think a lot of people look at this, the swell center of this handle, and think that it won't be ergonomic, but it really is. You don't feel the hump on the back in your hand. The hump in the front goes right between my middle and ring fingers, and just super ergonomic. And that spear point is just so nice. It is a very pointy spear point. One of the differences that I mentioned is that it does have a larger sharpening choil than the original, and then also it's S90V, which Ben has kind of switched to, at least for the time being. Beautiful action. I feel like it might be a little different sounding because of the coating, and I'll compare it to the original 2022 version in the full review. So make sure you're subscribed, click the bell and select all so you know when that video comes out. But also I'll put the details of the release in the description, so check out the description, subscribe so you know when that full review goes up and about the release. But beautiful action, no blade play. I've never had blade play on a Jack Wolf knife. Nicely centered, I think pretty much perfect to my eye. Really nice. Strong pull, maybe an 8, 7 to 8. Nice transition. Nice and flush. Really cool, really unique slip joint. You know, and I think that the dark of the handle, you know, kind of, again, it's a different look with the transitions. You can see a little bit there where you can see that darkness in there. So I don't know, I can't tell because the camera's honestly between me and the knife. I think there are some very slight gaps there, but again, I wonder if that's because of the coating. But a beautiful and just really cool knife. So even just the oil that came off of the blade here, watch how this changes the look. Well, it might not be enough, but put a little bit of oil on these fat carbon handles. It really brings it out. And I think that that is really, really cool. Perfect Halloween, spooky season, spooky month carry. I love Halloween. I've loved it since I was, just a little guy. And so I'm really excited about this new version. Again, full details on the release will be in the description, and I will have a full review of this knife coming. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Ben, as always, for sending this knife for review. I really appreciate it. I love getting to check these out. Thank you for watching, as always. Thank you to Ben again, and as always, don't forget to go out and do good. Whoops.